lead in America and those listening around the world. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate with your host, John Matthews, self-ordained, politically incorrect, mad prophet of the airways. The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most knowledgeable activists and pundits today that together seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement with those seeking the truth regarding the similarities and differences between the religion of politics and the politics of religion.
Well, by getting on Larry King and telling everybody I'm a Christian and I wasn't raised in a Muslim home.
Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. But I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction. Unless we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ.
At what point does a baby get human rights, in your view?
Well, I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective, answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade. I've got 2 daughters, 9 years old and 6 years old. I'm going to teach them, first of all, about values and morals. But if they make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby. As long as we've got to fight to make sure women have access to quality, affordable health care, and as long as we've got to fight to protect a woman's right to make her own choices about her own health, I want you to know that you've also got a president who's going to be right there with you, fighting every step of the way. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And now, your host, John Matthews.
Okay, hey, how we doing out there all across this great land of ours and around the world? It is that time. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate coming to you live right now out here from the old left coast. I am your host, John Matthews, mad prophet of the airways, on a mission from God. And that mission is to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. And we do that here on the Conservative Syndicate by espousing the conservative gospel and exposing the lameness of the leftist agenda. We're glad to have you with us. Glad to be back on the air. Beginning of another week here. I guess we're just coming off of spring break. I don't know if that's the time element in terms of seasons, but we're glad. I hope everybody had a good Easter last week. And we did over here on this side of the globe. But, just another good week for you. We have several things to do this week. We have coming on in about 10 minutes or so, Kenric Ward from watchdogvirginia.org. Watchdog.org is a large national, watchdog group. I guess that's what you would call them. And he published an article last week regarding voter fraud. And I read it and I liked it, and I contacted him, and he said, yeah, I'd like to come on the show. We're going to talk about voter fraud. The issue that the left, like everything else, is another concocted scandal. And obviously nobody on the left believes in such a thing as voter fraud, I guess because they believe that anybody, whether you're dead, alive, legal or illegal, has the right to vote, because they all fall under the jurisdiction of the Constitution, which was written for American citizens, but, being such a living document, it means that it pertains to any and all, regardless of your relationship with this country. So we're going to have him on. Karen Siegemund from Rage Against the Media will be with us the next hour. We'll be talking about the campaign now. It's heating up a little bit. We've got a few people that have actually gone out and said, yeah, I'm going to run. Of course, Hillary on the left has finally announced her intent to run. I guess she's raised enough money outside of the rules of fundraising jurisdiction and decided, well, maybe it's time to actually do it legally. We also have Marco Rubio announced, Rand Paul, and, of course, Ted Cruz. So right now that looks like the field. We know there's others will be stepping in. And I also want to one of the things I hope to do tonight is kind of just continue my prophecy. And we'll talk about that a little later as to what the ticket will be for the Democrat side should Hillary survive the baggage claim department, okay? I've got Joe Hickos from Dryer Report, my co-host, with me. How you doing tonight, Joe?
I'm great, John.
Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
I'm so glad she's going to be my champion, John. Yay!
Yeah, and I wonder are they going to break out the get that 3:00 call in the morning commercial? The ad they did about.
Yeah, John, it's just so great. I'm glad she's just got away from that $300,000 speaking fee thing every time she opens her mouth, and that she was so broke and everything after she left the White House. Her and Bill, I don't know how they survived it, John. I really don't. It's just really. Oh, I'm so glad she's out there and she's really kicking and alive and well and doing so good. And, riding around in the mystery machine. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
I was just thinking about that because one of the things Hillary Clinton has already done, she came out today and launched a barrage, lobbed a grenade at the corporate world, CEOs. And I found it so telling that her statement was, her campaign is going to be the middle class. That's what she's saying, okay. And she's going to salvage the middle class.
She hasn't driven a car in 30 years, for crying out loud.
Okay. But I got such a kick out of the idea that she's saying, well, there's CEOs in this country that get paid 300 times more than the people that work for them. And I'm thinking, yeah, if anybody knows about getting paid 300 times more than anybody else for what they do, it would be you out there doing your speeches at $250,000, $300,000 a clip, and probably the only person that makes more than you is your husband out there on the speech circuit. So, yeah, I'm wondering how she's going to play that, But that's going to be the thing. I think they're amongst the idea of playing the gender card. We've already seen that starting to unfold. Anybody that opposes Hillary Clinton is going to be sexist. And rather than racist, because, we can't, unless, of course, if they play the race card, it's going to be that we don't want her to be elected because Bill Clinton was actually our first black president.
Oh, it could be, or, well, I don't know what. I think it's because I'm a fashionista, John. I just don't like pantsuits.
Well, I've been using the phrase more and more, just more out of irony than anything else, and referring to myself as a metrosexual. And,
John, no.
And that way you can't, you're not going to be able to paint me as a sexist because I'm a metrosexual.
Well, I don't know. We'll just ask my wife if I love women. I think she'll side with me.
Well, it's not a matter of loving women. Metrosexuality is just
think
getting in touch with my feminine side.
Oh, John, don't touch that.
Okay, well, that just means that I can legally call Hillary Clinton a bitch. All right.
Oh, John. John. Oh no.
Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
So anyway, I can use that phrase, and if people just say, "Well, that's sexist," no, that's just my metrosexual side. That's my feminine side. I'm going to look at Hillary Clinton as we're in a cat fight, and you bitch. that's how we'll play that one.
Oh my! Oh, see, it's already starting. She's only been in the race since yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm amazed.
Can you believe that?
Well, here's one of the things I think is going to happen with her, because one of the first things I noticed right away, right after she announced her candidacy, the internet was just barraged with articles about all the scandals that she's involved in. And, of course, the main theme behind that is she going to survive the scandals? Does she have too much baggage? Is she going to survive the scandals? And
you're talking baggage, and that's not under her eyes.
Well, yeah, right. And I think the intent and desire is to just get so barraged with all the reminders of all the concocted scandals that the vast right-wing conspiracy has mounted against her, we're just going to get tired of listening to it. I think that's the intent, is just to burn everybody out on it. So at some point in time, everybody, oh God, are we going to talk about that again? That is, I think, going to be the strategy in terms of her baggage, And
yeah, okay, I can understand that. People are pretty much sick of her already. Especially those that actually paid attention to what's gone on, and especially as her tenure as Secretary of State. Have you seen the signs that her logo?
Oh yeah, we were.
I kind of find those funny. This way to Ambassador Stevens' grave and stuff like that.
Well, what I noticed about it, as soon as I saw it, this is one of the things I posted. And when Karen comes on next hour, we're going to talk about it a little bit, because she sees the humor in it also. The idea that you got this big H,
yes,
and with a red arrow pointing to the right.
To the right.
And I'm like, well, shouldn't that be a blue arrow pointing to the left? Is she going to try to tell us that she is a centralist, or did somebody just mix up the colors?
Oh, give me a Scooby snack, please. I need a Scooby-Dooby snack.
Well, my understanding is the logo was designed in a contest by school students. So I'm wondering if she went, maybe she went to the school of dyslexia.
We need to get all this done out of the way now, so we can actually have a serious conversation about her candidacy.
Okay, this is what I found really funny. Somebody posted out on Facebook today a picture of her logo with the H, and then next to it was Obama's logo. The O.
Yes.
And in the red arrow, they put the words, "I'm with stupid."
Yes, I've seen that.
But the thing that got me was when you put the two letters together, it spells hole.
Holy cow.
So that's where I got the idea. Well, if she's going to go out and tell everybody she's the campaign is whole, Obama's third term by proxy,
yes,
that kind of thing.
And that's what she's absolutely trying to avoid in her whole thing. If you watched her ad, oh my goodness, John, have you been able to stomach that?
Well, I actually tried to do that, but Hillary Clinton to me is more like, I have the same problem when I watch Barack Obama. I can handle about 30 seconds of it. And then what I have to do is I'll look up the transcript. Okay, I'll read the transcript.
John, it's really amazing. She must have known it was aimed at you, because she doesn't really come on to. You don't really see her until it's like a 2-minute ad. You don't see her until 30 seconds before it's over.
Oh yeah, well that's going to be the whole thing. It's going to be everything's going to be by proxy. Everything's going to be third party. I bet you we see Bill Clinton out there more than we see her.
Oh, but they said no. They're hiding Bill until the end.
Yeah. And then, of course, she was roasted on Saturday Night Live again. These guys are getting really good on Saturday Night Live with their characterizations. Did you see her rehearsing? It was a skit. The opening skit was about her rehearsing. She's going to announce her candidacy, and she's being coached by, what's that girl's name? Marie Harf?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, geez, it's funny. It's kind of funny. I'm surprised that Lorne Michaels actually approved something like that, being that he is such a blue bleeding liberal himself.
Yeah, I see. I don't even bother, because it's truly, they don't really mean any of that. They'll throw all their support and all they can behind her. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, I'm just wondering how they're going to do it when they get Tina Fey on there as what's her name, Sarah Palin, and see how they're going to play that. That's going to be fun. So I mean, it's going to happen, but what we're going to see here is the gender card big time, and it's already happening. So we got to go to break right now, guys, and when we come back, we'll have Kenric Ward from watchdog.org with us. We're going to be talking about a survey that was conducted by True the Vote that shows that, hey, maybe, just maybe, the voter fraud issue is a little bit more, what do you want to say, a little bit more present, or what's the word I'm looking for, Joe? A little bit more substantial than what people are saying. The left just tells us there's no such thing as voter fraud. Once a Democrat, always a Democrat. Whether you're alive or dead, we can vote anyway. So